I've been getting a ton of questions about the Monster Maker players in Most Feared. How do you get the 86s? How do you upgrade them to a free 89? Well, in today's video, I got you covered with the full guide to how Monster Makers work in Madden 23. So fellas, hope y'all are having a wonderful Thursday so far. On the screen right here is a $10 PlayStation gift card. First person to claim it is getting 10 bucks for free. And if you want more giveaways, scroll down, click that red subscribe button because there's a lot more coming. But without further ado, let's get started and talk about the Monster Maker players in Madden 23. And we're going to start it off by going over the way you get the 86 overall players, then we'll talk about how to upgrade them to 89s. Now, the way you get these 86s is honestly simple, but I'm right there with ya. I was confused about how you get these right when this came in game. I was looking through my solos, I was looking through the missions in here, and I didn't see anything. But the way you get these 86s is actually rewarded to you from the field pass. So at level number 3, you get an 86 overall BND monster pack, and that's not it. For a second, I was like, did we just get one of these 86s for free? That's not true. When you continue to scroll on over, you guys will see at level 9 another 86 for free. When we continue to go a little further, at level 15 you're getting a third 86, and then finally at level 21 you earn the fourth 86 overall player. So the way these kind of work is the card you want the most you should probably select at level number 3, and then as you continue going, just continue selecting the player you want the most, and by picking the players that you like more at the start, you're gonna get progress quicker to get those cards to 89s before the ones you get at the end of the field pass. But yeah, here are the 86 overall players you guys can earn. The first one is a Chase Claypool wide receiver card on the screen right here. I will also be showing you the stats of the 89 so you guys can kind of see, oh, this one looks the best, this one looks the worst, and you can make that decision. Then next up, we've got ourselves an 86 overall Rasul Douglas, who of course is gonna turn into an 89. This card has some pretty crack stats. I will say all these cards have pretty good stats. Rasul Douglas though, he looks good. I'll probably quickly mention my favorite one in the video here before I make my pick. Then the next 86 overall player is going to be an Ezekiel Elliott running back card. Not a bad player. On the screen it does say that he's got 86 speed. That has been updated to 89 speed, so when you get the final 89 he will have 89 speed. And then finally it's a Devin White middle linebacker. I'm not a big fan of the guy IRL, but his Madden card isn't bad. If you like middle linebackers, he does have 89 speed. Now if I quickly had to rank these cards, I would probably say Chase Claypool is my number 1 favorite player. 89 speed on a receiver that big is dope. Rasul Douglas is a good player as well. 88 speed is good. I would say he might be the second or third best. Zeke and Rasul Douglas are probably tied for number 2 and number 3. And then finally Devin White, he's a good card, like good speed on the player, good stats across the board, but he's a middle linebacker. He's just not a real position of need for me. Now for me personally, since I haven't gotten my house rules rewards, I do need this Rasul Douglas on my team, so I'm going to be picking him right here. But again, I would say Chase Claypool is probably better than this card. Rasul Douglas probably comes in at 2, then Zeke, then Devin White. So now that I've got my 86, how do I upgrade this player all the way up to an 89? Well, as you guys can see, there are 4 different items that are going to have to go into this card to get this player item all the way up to an 89 overall player. And the way you get these items is by going back on over to your field pass. As you guys can see, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our field pass, we're going to navigate all the way on over to the right, and we're going to see an entire section regarding these monster morph cards. Now when we scroll all the way on over to the right within the Most Feared missions, you guys are going to see the Monster Makers section right here, and there's a section for every single player. So Chase Claypool, Rasul Douglas, Zeke Elliott, and Devin White. Now very simply, these are the missions you gotta complete that are going to be giving you those tokens to upgrade your player to an 89. So right here, as you can see, with Rasul Douglas, we gotta get 3 interceptions with Monster Maker Rasul. We gotta win a Super Bowl or head-to-head game allowing 200 or less passing yards. Then we gotta get 25 tackles with the Monster Maker Rasul Douglas, and finally get 15 team pass deflections with Monster Maker Rasul Douglas in your lineup. Now in my opinion, these missions aren't really like the easiest thing in the world. I don't really know if it's worth going into a solo challenge and like grinding to do these, like grinding to get pass deflections. Honestly, pass deflections are a weird thing in Ultimate Team. As we look at these other missions, the offensive ones are a lot easier to do. Get 10 receiving touchdowns with Monster Maker Chase Claypool, 500 passing yards, 40 passes to Chase Claypool, and then win a game with 250 plus yards. Honestly, those seem a lot easier. I think the offensive ones are a lot easier than the defensive ones. But ultimately, to get those stats knocked out, here is my recommendation to you guys. What I recommend you do is I recommend you put in the 86 overall players at a starting spot in your lineup. Now I know you're probably watching this like, Swift, why in the world would I put in an 86 overall Ezekiel Elliott as my starting running back? Well, here's what I'm thinking you guys should do. What I'm thinking you guys should do is you should put in these cards as a starter, and if you're playing solo challenges, you can just keep them in your lineup. Ultimately, an 86 overall player in solo challenges is going to work pretty well. Then if you're looking to take your team online, what you should do is you should switch those players out for your original starters. So switch in in like your 89 overall Sauce Gardner, whoever your starting running back is, and switch in those players before you go to an online game. Now, the reason why I suggest that is because, of course, in an online game, I don't want this 86 overall Rasul Douglas running around on my football field. He's going to get mossed. He's going to be too slow. But in a solo challenge, he's going to work. And ideally, when we put him in a solo challenge, he's going to start to rack up those stats. So like for Ezekiel Elliott and Chase Claypool, you had to get receptions or rushing yards with the cards. Of course, what you can just do is throw to them in a solo challenge. Or right here with Rasul Douglas, we can hope he gets a pick or maybe swats a ball in a solo. Then when you guys were in online games, again, you want to keep these players in your lineup. So throw them in at like cornerback and number 5, at like running back 3 or wide receiver 5, whatever it may be. Put them in at a backup spot so they don't actually play when you're online, but you still get credit with any of those online objectives while the card is still technically in your lineup. And in my opinion, that's probably going to be your best bet and your best strategy to get the objectives knocked out quickly. Now again, the objectives aren't really easy. Like, it's not like you're going to come in here and get them done in a day. It's not really that type of thing, because for example with Rasul Douglas, getting 15 pass deflections, that's not very easy. But ultimately, if you do this strategy for a week and you play your solo challenges, you hop online a little bit, you're going to get a lot of progress on these. Because right here, for example, with the Ezekiel Elliott ones, having an 86 overall Zeke in your lineup isn't really going to be that hard when you're playing solos. Like, running the ball 40 times with him in solos isn't that hard. For the cheapest Madden coins and 2KMT on the internet, check out my sponsor MMOEXP and use code SWIFT to checkout for 5% off. Again, to get the 86s, you got to get your most feared level up. I made a full video talking about that earlier today. I will leave it linked in the description. Once you have your most feared level up, of course, then you're getting the players and you can start to get progress on these missions. And quickly want to interrupt the video to showcase Underdog Fantasy. If you didn't know, there's Thursday Night Football on later tonight. It's an absolute barn burner. Bears against the Washington Commanders. If you guys would like to make some higher or lower picks and potentially win some money, I will leave the link to Underdog Fantasy in the description. Basically what you do is you click the higher or the lower for a specific stat. So let's say, for example, we think that David Montgomery is going to have a big game. Is he going to have higher or lower? 60 rushing yards. And if you end up getting some picks correct, you can maybe win some money. As you guys can see on the screen, here are some of the wins that people have had over the past couple of weeks. If you want to check out Underdog, I will leave it linked in the description, and I'll leave it linked in the pinned comment. And of course, before you sign up, use code SWIFT. But ultimately, this video showcased how to get the 86 overall players, as well as the best way to upgrade them in the most efficient fashion. So hopefully this helped. If it did, scroll down and be sure to hit that red subscribe button. Over half the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel. So if you want to stay in the loop with content like this in the future, hit that red sub button, leave a like down below, and until next time, fellas, have a wonderful day. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Most Feared. I'm not enjoying it with a 78 overall Ashton Doolin pull, and until next time, I'm out. Peace. So